Hello and welcome to Huntress Health. I'm April, and on this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about fitness, strength, cardiovascular conditioning during hunting. So if you were to speak to probably our fathers or grandfathers about their pre-hunting season body preparations, they would probably tell you something along the lines of, I don't do any of that shit. All I do is I pick up my bow a week before the season, I fling some arrows, and then I go out in my stand. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Is that what your father would tell you? Because that's something that my father would tell me. And him and I have been hunting together for probably close to 25 years or so. I used to go in the tree stand with him when I was really wee in a purple snowsuit, and I would sleep on the platform of his tree stand while he hunted. So many people think that hunting is a super simple event where you pack up your gear, head out into the bush, harvest an animal, or don't harvest an animal, pack it up, come home. They think it's just completely that simple. Now, what most people don't realize is that a full hunt may include walking miles in rough and rugged terrain, packing heavy gear into remote areas, possibly packing a whole animal out after a successful hunt. Now, hunting requires the hunter to be mentally tough as well for the many days that you may go without seeing an animal or even seeing another person, for example. And strategy, precision, patience, these are all very necessary to develop in yourself to be a skilled long-term hunter. So when I think about fitness in hunting, there are three pillars. That would be cardiovascular health, the strength of the muscular system, and your mental training. And of course, you have to add nutrition in there as well, right? When you imagine the big game or the animals that you are about to hunt, are they slow? Are they fat? Are they out of shape? Are they breathing hard after a short sprint? Definitely not, right? Your game is lean, strong, fast, and it's skilled and mentally prepared. So why don't we emulate the animals and the objects that we desire so much to harvest? This is where hunting fitness comes into play. So good cardiovascular health, it comes in two different ways, right? It's your ability to hunt and pack, as well as your safety while you're in the field. So now think again of your favorite game. They're able to run, bound, sprint, all without falling over from being winded or taking a break or working into a severe sweat. That's where your optimal cardio health will come in handy for you. You'll have more energy, you'll sweat less, you'll have a greater lung capacity. That in turn means less scent in the air. It means less noise while you're moving, and that your body will stay at a more even temperature. We all know that what happens in the late fall and the winter is we can sweat up a storm when we're packing in, and then we end up freezing because our backs are wet with sweat, and the cold air comes in and it chills you. So good cardiovascular health also means less worry about older hunters. The amount of individuals who pass away afield due to heart attacks is 3 times more likely to occur than an accidental shooting afield. And that's quoted from Dr. Eric Good of the University of Michigan Health System. So it's very, very important for not only our older hunters, but anybody who may have a risk of cardiovascular health or anything, it's very important for them to have a good cardiovascular system, especially when you're taking them on like a rugged mountain hike, or you're packing far in, or they may have to walk a long distance. So keeping up your cardiovascular system helps strengthen your heart and the body, and it decreases the chances of cardiopulmonary events happening while you're afield. Then we've got strength. So strength is necessary for hunting tasks such as drawing your bow, steadiness with your bow, holding up your weapon, such as a gun, and packing and rucking. For archers, having strong arms and a strong core is vital for your holding your draw weight, holding steady, and repeated draws if necessary. An archer with strong arms, shoulders, and a good core will often make a shot that a weaker person cannot hold, cannot make, and will very likely miss. If we take, for example, my own story of this past hunting season, I was very proud of myself. For years and years, probably 20 years or more, I had hunted with my father. He had done all the work. He had taught me a lot of things, but he had done the work. And so this year I had moved to a new area with very, very good deer movement. So I had prepped everything myself, all my cameras, all my stands, all the trails. I knew what was going on. I knew where they were, and I knew my game plan. I set up a blind and a tree stand. They were across alfalfa fields from each other. And I had started my season in the bottom blind. It was at the bottom of a hill. Things weren't really going my way. And I saw a buck cross the field out in front of me, and he had come up behind, and he was coming up behind me up on top of the hill. So I grabbed my gear really quickly, grabbed my bow, grabbed my binoculars, grabbed my arrows and everything. And I packed myself up the hill. I was winded, super winded by the time I got up the hill, which was a surprise for me in a way and quite sad. So I packed up the hill. I sat down right beside a log. I put the camera down and I waited. And I heard some coyotes howling off to my south. And I knew that was the way that he had come up and around. So I waited and I waited, and they got closer. And sure enough, as they got closer, they pushed him up and out of the funnel and onto the field. So I'm waiting for him to come up onto the funnel. He's monstrous, and he's in velvet, and he's beautiful, and he's coming up the field, and it's in a V. So the V cuts in, and then there's a fence line, and then it moves into the field. So he's coming up, and he's coming up the trees, and I'm like, my adrenaline is rushing, and I'm also really tired. I draw my bow. I'm holding. He's behind a tree. He's still behind the tree. He's still standing behind the tree. I put my bow down on my knee because I was tired. My arms were shaking. I was tired from packing. I was tired of holding, and he wasn't moving. He took a step out. I left my cam on my knee. I pulled back, fired my arrow, and it went completely underneath him. 20-yard shot, completely underneath him. So I'm guessing that my cam sitting on my knee slowed my cam, pulled my arrow down, and that was it. So my lack of strength, cardiovascular strength, and my lack of preparation, obviously, cost me a beautiful buck in velvet. So first we had cardiovascular strength, and then we had our muscular strength. Now we have our mental strength. So mental health is extremely important for a hunter afield. People who work out, do cardiovascular and strength training and preparations, they often are happier people. They are more alert, and they're generally just in a better mood. So working out, being in a better mood, having being more alert, helps you with patience, will help you with noticing your surroundings, focusing on your game plan, as well as strategy, and noticing animal movement patterns much better. So just think of an unfortunate circumstance where you may find yourself lost. Those who can keep a level and proper thinking head will think through their situation, and in many times will persevere. There have been times where hunters get lost. They make a vital error in what they should do next, and they are found deceased or not found at all. So if you can keep your head on straight, you can think properly, think logically through what's happened, make proper decisions in vital times within your timeline of, say, being lost, your chances are much, much greater. Now, that comes down to having good mental capacity, which gets better with nutrition and exercise. Always, always, always. The science behind it is there. And in another episode, we will go over the science behind that and the mood systems in your body and how nutrition and exercise play a vital role in that. But we'll keep going here, and we're going to talk about nutrition just a little bit. So nutrition is, like I said, what brings all of these three things together. Nutrition is the one thing that will enhance all three of the fitness outcomes, being cardiovascular health, muscular strength, and your mental health. So remember, you cannot, unfortunately, out-train a shitty diet. It is what it is. A balanced diet of protein, healthy carbohydrates, and healthy fats will help you find the fitness outcomes that you desire to make you a better hunter. As stated before, being healthier affects your heart, your blood pressure, your breathing, your cardiovascular system, your blood, and your breathing. This makes you safer and much less of a liability in the field. A proper ratios of carbohydrates to fats to proteins will also help you lose weight. It will help your body function properly. It will help you have power when you need it, sugars in your body when you need it, and the proteins will help your body repair when they need it. So if you have any tips or tricks for our newbie hunters or our lady hunters, because this is Huntress Health, so we are leaning more towards our ladies and our new lady huntresses. Some people don't like that word huntress, but it is what it is, right? We're women hunters, we're lady hunters, we're huntresses, and that's who we're gearing towards. So if you have any tips and tricks for our ladies, we would love to hear them. And if you are a lady who loves to hunt or fish, hike, kayak, or just be in the wilderness with your children or your animals, we'd love for you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Huntress Health, just the way it sounds, Huntress Health. And there we'll be posting more about fitness, nutrition, motivation. We're going to be having some recipes. And our next episode here on YouTube will be a recipe. I will be making venison stir fry for you, and I'll be showing you all the ingredients and showing you all the steps and exactly how to make it so you can have an awesome, super lean, organic meat in your recipe. And that's really healthy, and that goes along with all of the things we've talked about today, adding that optimum nutrition so that you can be better in the field. So thank you for watching. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, here on YouTube. We're planning a podcast, so check us out on those different social media platforms. So until then, have a great evening, and I wish you all the best of luck in all of your hunting endeavors.